We just finished talking about emotions and how those are value-laden somatic experiences. Next, we're going to talk about the difference between traits, moods, and emotions. Emotions are powerful physiological experiences that last a few moments. Traits are lifelong predispositions that reflect the type, frequency, and intensity of emotion. And moods are lower intensity emotional echoes. We've already talked about emotions a lot today, so I'm not going to harp on it too much right now. But the main thing to take away here is that emotions are powerful, that they have a physical effect on us that is quite powerful, but it's also short-lived, that the intense emotional experience usually only lasts less than 5 minutes. Traits are lifelong dispositions that reflect the type, frequency, and intensity of emotions that we experience. So essentially, people with certain traits are more likely to experience certain emotions than other people. So when we talked about traits earlier in the semester, we talked about positive and negative affectivity, that people just are born with a natural set point of how much positive and how much negative emotion they tend to experience. So that is something that will influence your emotional experience. And neuroticism is another example. So people high in neuroticism have more powerful emotional reactions. They have just more emotions than people lower on neuroticism. They're more emotionally reactive to their surroundings. They're more given to depression, anxiety, negative emotions like that. So people who are high on neuroticism are more likely to experience more intense emotions and more negative emotions. And that's consistent across the lifespan, right? That tends to be consistent from a young age to an old age. Moods are like emotions, but they're much less intense and they last a lot longer. A mood usually starts with an emotion that kind of diffuses, and moods can last hours, days, months, and even years. There was a year where it was like a rough year for me. I was really struggling with my research and getting publications out. And then at the same time as this was going on, my girlfriend's father was dying. And it was just a really difficult, the year leading up to that and the year after that, it was just 2 really hard years for me. And about a year after he passed away and things had kind of returned to normal a little bit, I was having like a really good day and I was like in a happy mood and I was like, oh, like it just occurred to me that I'd been in a bad mood for like 2 years and I'd gotten so used to it that I hadn't even noticed, right? And so moods can last that long. It can be this predisposition for years. Sometimes they last a morning, sometimes they last years. And I think one of the hardest things about being an adult that no one tells you as a kid is that you're going to have good decades and you're going to have bad decades. Sometimes you look back and you're just like, man, that was a rough 10 years. Didn't come together just like I would have wanted. And that those things can really have a powerful emotional impact on you. Moods prime us towards specific emotional reactions. So, I mean, that's essentially what a mood is. When you're in a good mood, it's really easy to make you laugh, to make you smile, to get you engaged with people. When you're in a bad mood, you're just kind of like prepped and ready to go, looking for an argument, looking for a reason to be angry or sad. So moods predispose us to react in certain ways to the world around us. A lot of the common psychological disorders, when we think of psychological disorders, we're usually referring to mood disorders. So generalized anxiety disorder is a mood disorder. Depression is a mood disorder. It's when you're just constantly being prepped to emotionally react in a certain way, in a way that becomes really maladaptive to your life.